Welcome to the next video in the Build a Website series, Adding Anchor Menus. In this video, we're going to add the final piece to our header and our footer. We're going to create 5 anchor points on our page. We're going to create and customize the Fruit Shop menu, connect those 5 anchor points to our Fruit Shop menu. We'll then add the vertical Fruit Shop menu to the footer and test our menus. So let's get building. Here we are back on the original site, and let's review a bit about what we're about to do. We're about to create a menu here, and it has 5 categories: home, about us, services, contact us, and location. Now remember, the unique thing about an anchor menu is these categories, these links do not lead to separate pages. They lead to different areas on the page. So when we click on About Us, it's going to come down here to this point on the page. So what we need to do first is create the anchor points for the page that lets the menu know where they need to go. So let's head back to the editor, and I'll show you how to quickly do that. Back here in the editor now, to create our 5 anchor points and put them on the page here, we're going to come over here to the plus, and we'll come down here to Apps, right down here, click on Apps, and we're going to scroll down until we see the anchor. This blue anchor here. Now this will install the anchor points on our page for us, and we need 5 of them. So let's click 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we can close out of that, and it looks like there's only one here, but they're stacked up on top of each other. So let's separate them. There's 1, 2, 3. Oh, we only got 3, so we need 2 more. So let's go back down to Apps, scroll down to the anchor point, add 1. Let's move it, and then 1 more. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 anchor points. The next thing we need to do is to name these anchor points so we can tell them apart, and each one will have a different place on our page. So let's start with the home. We're going to move this top one right here, right up to the top of the page. Now let's right click. That brings up our anchor card. We're going to edit it. We're going to name this Home and confirm. So now we have an anchor point named Home. We'll come down here to this anchor point, right click, edit. Our next category is About Us, confirm. So we have our About Us anchor point. Come down to the next one, right click, edit. We'll name this one Services. Confirm. That one's named. Now we'll right click on this anchor point and edit and name it Contact Us. Confirm. And our last anchor point, we'll right click, edit, and name it Location and confirm. So now we have all 5 of our anchor points named. Now we have to position all 5 of them on the page, and we have our home page right up here on the top. We'll want to put it right here on the top. Let's take this About Us anchor point, and we'll scroll down just a bit because we can bring it right down to this section. That's our About Us area. Our next is the Services, so we're going to click on it and drag it. And let's scroll down a bit, and we'll drag it some more and scroll down until we find the What We Do section. So we can put our anchor point right there. Let's scroll back up, grab the next anchor point, contact us. We'll drag it down, drag it all the way down, dragging some more until we find our contact us section right here. Put it right there. Now let's go back up, and we have one more, our location. Drag, we just keep dragging and drag some more till we get all the way down past our contact us to our map, and we'll put it right there. So now we have our map, our contact us section, and we have our services section. We have our about us section, and of course our home page. Now that we're back in the editor, let's come over here to our add elements, and we're going to select menu right here. Click on that. And you're going to have a lot of options, but we're going to keep it very simple. We're going to click this top menu here. We can close out of this card. That puts an empty menu right here, and this is just like a holder. It's totally empty, but now we're going to move it right up here into the header. Let's go ahead and move it into the header and drop it. And we need to make our header a little bigger, it looks like, because we want it to go right underneath this logo. So I'm going to activate this top banner and grab our arrow that moves everything up and down with no overlapping, remember? So we're going to push this down a bit. We're going to activate the header and grab the header and bring it down. Now let's shift our anchor point back up to the top, and that gives us some space to get our menu in here. So we can at least put it here. Let's turn on our ruler and make sure that we have our edge line right there. Put it right up here right now. And that's shifted things here, so we're probably going to have to move this down too. We can do some final adjusting after our menu is filled out. But let's go ahead and activate our top banner and pull it back up. Now we can adjust more later if we want to. Get it right up there underneath our header. I'm going to come up here to our empty menu, right click, and that brings up our menus card, and we're going to edit menu items. So we'll click that up, and this brings up our menu configuration card. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a link, and it adds this yellow bar here, and we're going to come up here and choose anchor. Our very first item needs to be the home, so let's go ahead and add our click on it. Click OK. Now here's where we can rename our item, and whatever you type in here is how it's going to appear on your menu. And we're going to use all caps. So I'm going to type in home and confirm. That puts that link into our menu. So now we need to add another link. I'm going to add link, come up here to anchor. I'm going to choose the next item on our list, which is the about us. So I'm going to choose it here in our anchor points. Click OK. It brings up the rename item. So I'm going to highlight link description there, make sure I've got my caps on, and type in about us. Click confirm. I'm going to add another link, anchor link, so I'm hitting the anchor page. I'm going to choose the next item on our list, which is services. Here it is. Click OK. I'm going to highlight the name, enter services, confirm. I have another link to add, which is an anchor. So I'll click that. I'll choose the contact us, which is next on our list. Click OK. Rename it in all caps, contact us. Click confirm. And we have one more link to add. So we add a link. It's an anchor. It brings up our choices, and that's the location. So I'm going to click location, click OK, name it location, click confirm. That puts all of our anchor points on our menu. Now I want to let you know you have some options here where you can delete a link. That's the little trash can. You can also edit a link, and you can edit the name. Also, you want to know that if you miss something and you want to rearrange something on your menu, you can just drop it like this, switch things around. But we want them in the original order: home, about us, we need services, next, contact us, and location. So once we have everything in order, we're going to come over here and we're going to save this because we may need to use it again. So let's save this. We're going to name it. Let's call this anchor menu. Now, this becomes important, naming your menu and saving it, because it's possible you could have several different menus in one website. You might have a menu for a membership site, or you might have another menu for a shopping area. It's a great idea to name all of your menus, and that way you'll know exactly which menu you're going to be working on when you're changing something. But that's entirely up to you. It's just always a really good idea to name each menu, each specific menu, with a unique identifier so you know exactly what you're editing when you're editing it. Once you have your menu named, we can hit confirm. And that will be important because now we can import that menu and put it into other places and other pages. So we're going to confirm it. It puts our menu right up here in the header. Now we still have some work to do on it because obviously it doesn't look very good. To change the appearance of our menu, we're going to right click, go to Appearance. It brings up our Edit Element card, and it has this option right here checked. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this style so I know exactly what I'm working on. I'm just going to put in FS for Fruit Shop, Anchor Menu. Confirm it. That renames this style, this item, as this specific menu. It's one of those things that will really help you keep organized and make sure you're working on the right item at the right time. I'm going to click this box to select it, and now I'm going to come to the gear, click on it, and it opens up the options that we can change to edit this Fruit Shop Anchor menu. The very first thing I'm going to do is edit the font. It's very small. So let's make this larger. Let's do about 20. That looks good. So we can close out of that. And then we also have to edit the color. So we're going to come down to the menu text color, click on the default setting. We're going to choose white. I'm also going to choose white for the hover color and the selected color. Choose OK. Let's check that out. That looks pretty good. So now let's work on spacing this just the way we want it. This is going to do it. I'm going to make sure I have my left side alignment right where I want it. I'm going to move my menu right up underneath that logo. I can right up to the edge of that box. move this up a bit. It's going to need to come up. Then I can adjust my header width again, bring it right where I want it. That might be a little bit too much. I think I want to move that menu down a bit, actually. Let's move this menu down just a bit. There we go. And we'll move, let's turn our, perhaps move it up just a bit. And then this will need to come down. We can see that that's going to need to come down. Let's get our rulers back on, put another alignment grid there. And let's activate the top of our menu and bring that alignment grid right down to, actually, let's bring it down to about the center of this menu text. Because now we can bring this social media network bar and bring it down and center it pretty close on that line. Now let's go ahead and move this down. Let's move our grid line up, and we'll move all of these elements down. Let's remove these grid lines and our ruler. Now let's check it out in preview mode. Spectacular! That looks pretty good. Return to edit. And let's go ahead and save this. Now we have another menu down in the footer, so we'll head down there and configure that menu. We're down here on our footer, and I can see that our footer needs to be pulled up a bit, so we'll pull it up. We're going to come over here to add element, add a menu. We're going to add a top menu. It dropped it right in the middle of our map there. See it? Empty menu. Let's pull it down and put it in our footer. Now we're going to configure this. So we're going to right click, edit menu items, and remember we saved that menu. We're going to import our anchor menu. So we'll just click on that. That imports the same menu into this menu holder, and we can click confirm. So you can see we now have a horizontal menu configured with the same links, the same anchor points as the one on the top, except it doesn't look the same. It's the wrong style, and it's in the horizontal position. So let's right click. We're going to go to Appearance. This brings up our custom style, but do you see this is the style we're working on right now. Do you see our Fruit Shop anchor menu? We're just going to click that. That gives us the same, we can close out of this now. That gives us the same menu, except it is in the horizontal position. So we can right click, go to Align menu. That puts it in our vertical position. We can move it right here, move it right up underneath our space that we have made for it. Drop it. Maybe move it down just a tad. That looks pretty good. We have everything aligned here. So everything is, we've got both menus on the page. Let's go up here and check to make sure that they're all working properly. So let's go to preview mode. Let's click on About Us. That takes us right to the About Us. Come up here to Services. There we go, right here at What We Do. Come over here to Contact Us. That takes us to the Contact Us form. And Location. Right spot on the map. So now let's come down here and check our home. It brings it right up to the top. Let's try About Us. Spot on there again. Services takes us to What We Do. Contact Us gives us the contact form. And of course, Location is right here. So we can return to edit. Let's save and save again. Now that we have our page fully made in the desktop view, it's time for us to move on and configure it for other devices, our tablet and our mobile. So we'll cover that in the next video. In this video, we finally got around to installing our anchor points. So we created 5 anchor points, installed them down our page. We customized a fruit shop menu. Then we connected the 5 anchor points to our menu. We added a vertical fruit shop menu in the footer since we saved our style and our menu. Then we tested all of our menus just to make sure they were working right. We covered a lot. Now we're ready to move on to optimizing our page on tablet and mobile. So I'll see you in the next video.